So, we've got our masks, we've got our high-vis, we've got our gloves, we've got a man over there with a set of keys. We are going in this... We're ready. We're going into an amazing Leslie Breen building that hasn't been used since 1932. We, today, are at York Road. Hey everybody, it's been a whole year since we started the Hidden London Hangouts. We are thrilled to have managed to get through lockdown with you guys, and we hope we've done something for you along the way. So 1 year, it all started with this shirt. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. I can still fit in it. Lockdown hasn't been quite as cruel to me as it could have been. And I've got three of my most amazing friends with me for this excellent episode for you today. Yeah, we're off to York Road and we're not going alone. We're going as a gang. Chris Nix, what a year it's been.
Hasn't it just? And I feel like we've teased them long enough for this one. I've got the closest mug design that I could, but not exactly right.
This
today.
one, I'm telling you, this is the number one of all episodes we could have done today because it is so good. Siddy Holloway, I was so delighted to get dirty with you in that station.
Oh, I loved it too. You know what? I was thinking, like, how much have we changed in the last year? And I looked at our first episode and my hair was like here at that time. So a few more wrinkles, more hair, more body weight.
You're telling me about the wrinkles.
40-something episodes of Hidden London Hangouts. So
it's
not
amazing,
all lost.
It's wonderful. And yeah, you're absolutely right about the wrinkles. I look so much older than I did a year ago. Laura Hilton-Brown, you haven't changed a bit. You're still gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I am, on a scale of 1 to 10, so excited about this episode.
Episode.
I think, no, I know that it's totally going to ignite people's senses, and I'm just giddy. I'm really giddy with excitement.
So we really all are, because this was the last of all the trips that we could have done together, and we did it just before Christmas last year. We've held it in the can until our birthday, and we're going to unleash it on you today. It is so cool. By far my favorite station of any that we've been to or talked about. Let's kick off. 1906, Chris, was when York Road flung open its doors. Take us back.
Yeah, so let's first of all just have a look at where York Road is for the uninitiated, because you won't see it on a map today. But fortunately, we have this one where you can see it. So let's just start with a little trip down the line. So Piccadilly line used to run from Hammersmith to Finsbury Park when it was first built. And just up at this end, you'll find York Road, nestled away in the northern part of the Piccadilly line. So this station opened up on the 15th of December 1906, and it wasn't massively well used. It was serving quite a poor part of town, and it was speculative to build it in that area. So yeah, didn't see much traffic. When the general strike happened in 1926, the station closed, unusually for one of our stations, though it did reopen, but it closed finally on the 19th of September 1932. Now, you might think, oh, station closed before the Second World War, bound to have done something exciting in the Second World War. Well, it was looked at. It almost became the headquarters for London Transport's executive, but some of you may know that didn't happen. That was built elsewhere at Dover Street. But a recent discovery, only made yesterday when I was looking through drawing ledgers, I did find that there was a drawing prepared for it to be converted into an aircraft parts factory in the Second World War. But as far as we know, that didn't happen.
Wow. Okay, so that kicks it off, right? Thank you so much, Chris. As always, a station, open, shut, open, shut. What next? We went down and had a look round it. Now, if you drive down York Road now, or York Way, I think it is, just up north of King's Cross, you'll see what looks like a kind of a quiet reddish building, and that is what's left. But Siddy, this is a Leslie Green red brick beauty, isn't it? And we can look at the outside, can't we?
It is. And you know what's interesting about it? For having been a speculative station, as Chris was saying, it was built to quite like a high capacity. It had, 4 lifts. The station building itself is pretty big. Do you see that? It's much bigger than, say, Down Street or even Brompton Road, which also closed at the sort of same time. But it was completely, as I said, over-spec'd. It never had that many passengers coming into it. So it's really interesting, just how large it is, really.
Laura, you're off the leash. What do you think?
That's beautiful, isn't it? Look at those kind of 6 double archways and all that ironwork as well. Are they lamps? They are.
I mean, seriously, isn't it? It's class, Laura.
We were so excited, weren't we? Because it's just an absolute gem. It's a belter of a station to have been able to get to. And the 4 of us were kind of back on form, underground, going subterranean, exploring in the tunnels, in the dust and the dirt. And it was, I'm excited to see how this unravels.
And very quickly, Chris, just when you look at the frontage of that station, is that the same door that goes in and out of the station for passengers, or was there somewhere else where people exited the station?
It's just broadened back.
Oh, sorry, there it is.
You can see it
in
there.
one and out the other.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, much better. So in one and out the other, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Amazing. And just to say, by the way, I know the pictures are not in this particular episode, but we actually stood over the grid, didn't we? Over the top of those lift shafts and looked down.
We did.
Terrifying. Terrifying. But we did it. Chris did play this lovely little trick on us where all lights are out. We stood on this grid and then all of a sudden he turned the lights on and you suddenly see what's beneath you. For people like me who are scared of everything, it wasn't the nicest of experiences, but my goodness, the view was phenomenal. Just like this, the interior, Mr. Nix, of the booking hall.
Yeah, we talked about many of these Leslie Green stations, and this one is very much of its type. You can see where you've got the decorative paneling with the glasswork, with the plant designs cut into it, and you've got the wrought iron work above the lift shaft 3 there as well. So quite fancy stuff.
It looks beautiful. And of course, we've got the massive hanging sign. There's something about that, isn't it? It's so typically London Underground. We've got lifts and booking, those glass fronted signs. I mean, even, when I was a kid, they were still hanging in stations, big way out signs with yellow letters, stunning. And then you've got the clock and the beautiful Tiffany style lights. Of course, it was a beautiful station. And, Laura, I'm sure would agree that cornice work and the tiles, all absolutely gorgeous. But it was consigned to closure in 1932, wasn't it, Chris? And the posters bore that out.
Yeah, so we just zoom in on this side. There's some that you might recognise there.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it something to the shops by Underground or something?
Some sales. It's Horace Taylor.
Lovely.
Nice bit of utilitarian advertising there as well, or the International Advertising Exhibition. Bet that drew the crowds.
Lots of lovely posters, that one included.
Advert about adverts, that's even better. And
just
nice bit
and it's got. Oh, sorry, Chris. Yeah, and it says Addison Road rather than Kensington Olympia.
Isn't that interesting?
Also a poster for the zoo, just to the side of the Summer Sales one.
Lovely. In a vortex.
Alex isn't a fan of the zoo.
Yeah, I love them, don't I? A couple of elephants and a giraffe in the vortex there. But as always, we love a utilitarian poster, Mr. Nix, don't we? And there were some trumped up for this station.
Yeah, these are quite functional, aren't they? But they do tell quite a good story. So if you look on the left-hand side here, you can see where stations, a whole group of stations are being closed on Sundays in order to help run the service more efficiently. And you'll see halfway down that first group, York Road.
There it is, honestly. And Laura, look at it. I mean, I know it's not the most dramatic and dinky of photographs or posters, but they did the job, didn't they?
They do. Is anyone else finding the one on the left rather busy? Like there's a lot going on in it.
Ironically, because the stations weren't.
I know. It just seems like there's too much information on it, but I know that they're trying to get quite a lot of information over, and obviously the lovely border on the second one is just pretty to look at.
And I love the fact that, am I right in thinking that whoever marks up all these posters when they go into the collection, the last number, if you look on the right hand side one, the last number is the year that it was put in, 1932. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's the year it closed. And the one on the left is from 1918.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because look, on the one on the left, you've got the very kind of intertwined W being used as in Johnston, but on the one on the left, it's a normal one.
And look,
Yeah,
post office
you're
station,
absolutely right there.
Post office station, Clapham Road. All
I was just going to say, nice spot on the W there, Siddy. That didn't last many years, did it? After Johnston created it in 1916. So yeah, that's a good early use of it.
Gorgeous. And Laura, you might prefer this poster, by the way, Laura. This might tickle your pickle a bit more.
Let's have a look. Oh, I do like that one, mainly because the colours are very similar for the tiles that we're about to see shortly.
Gorgeous.
I really like this one because you if you go to York Road today, it is quite isolated. You have to walk a good 10 minutes up the road from King's Cross or back from Caledonian Road. And so you'd be forgiven for thinking that London Transport left the locals in the lurch, but there were trams still in existence at the time. And so that's what this is doing, is just reminding people that you can go by tram to York Road to go to the markets.
Gorgeous stuff. Now, before we cross to the station itself, a couple of shots of the four of us, really, because we were rather giddy, it has to be said, to meet up, because, you know, the Christmas lockdown was a funny one, wasn't it? We all thought we were off the choke, and then suddenly we were back locked up for Christmas. So it was a rather bizarre, but there were two really lovely photographs taken of the gang, and we wanted to share those with you before we go down into the dirt of the station. First one, look at that, at King's Cross, just there at 10. We're going to have fun today. Bring overalls and high vis. That was all we were told. Get to King's Cross. And look at us. Look how short my hair is as well. I must have just had a haircut.
We had great fun teasing people on Instagram at the time, didn't we? With the, where are we going today? And some people did get it.
Let's have a look at one other, just because it's so much fun. Look, I look like some camp tweenie. Look at the boots.
The boots are necessary, though. Health and safety. The boots are necessary.
But
I think you're rocking the look, Alex.
It's very kind of you. Me and that denim jacket have done some miles with you guys this year, I tell you. Me and my moquette denim jacket. It's gorgeous. So come on then. We need to go downstairs, don't we? And have a little nosy around in this place.
We do. We of course were there for a particular reason. We had gone to shoot footage for a virtual tour of York Road, so that we can create that and add that to the list of virtual tours of our existing Hidden London sites. So this is a shot once we were down in the station of me cracking on with some of that work with Siddy, shooting footage so that people can enjoy a virtual trip to the site, because unfortunately this is one of those stations where it's just not possible to do a physical virtual tour, a bit like Brompton Road. It's just not suitable for public access.
And is that shot there that we're looking at, Chris? Are we looking into what would be a lift doorway, would it?
No, we're actually looking away from where the lifts are towards a blocked up platform.
Oh, wow. So the other side of that brick wall is a platform.
It's the running of the Piccadilly line.
Oh, my goodness. See, this is, you've got all this to come, kids. There's loads of this.
One of the things this does highlight, though, is the place is in darkness. Once you get down below ground level, there are just no lights. So the reason it looks brilliantly lit is because I've had to take the lights to light it up, so it's possible to actually film it.
Telly lights. So we go into this beautiful red brick building and into the booking hall, and that is what you see all around you. Filthy, dirty, green tiles, isn't it, Sids?
This is really nice, though, because the tiling, the decorative tiling in York Road were the much rarer pomegranate design rather than the acanthus leaf design. So it's really nice to see that in place, where it's, not been replaced or anything like that. It's just been hanging on the walls there for, such a long time, 90 years basically. So, well, longer than that. So it's beautiful. And I love that green color. I've said it before, but it's just one of my favorite colors.
It's stunning, isn't it? And Laura, just to explain, that pomegranate that we're seeing, that tile, it's the twirly tile at the top, isn't it? That's the pomegranate.
It is. In fact, you can only see it on just that one tile, can't you? But just enough to tease you so that you can see the different shades of green just at the top kind of banner of that part of the tile as well. And this is right at the top as you go in, isn't it? So as soon as we went in, this is what you see. So we were like, well, if this is here, what else is going to be at this station? Because it's in really good condition. The green is like Siddy said, is just lovely. And I know that Chris particularly likes the keystone effect here of haha, got it in before you, of the tiles, because they're so sturdy and they're attached so well to the wall. So we were so lucky that this was just as you entered the door at the top.
Yeah,
I love that you've sniffed out that I've put this in because it's got keystoning. Well done. Again, look at that. There's a piece of tile still stuck in the keystoning just to the right of the green one. It's so effective.
It's so cool. So there you go. That is the booking hall was like that. Then you go down the emergency steps to a certain bit, and there are even more things to see. It wasn't long before Siddy and Chris started playing tricks on Laura and me as they shot down those stairs ahead of us. What were they doing? They were doing this.
So, last time Siddy and I came to York Road, we walked round this corner to find this picked out on the torchlight. And it's a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this has been here for, but it certainly has got some wear and tear on it, quite a bit of grime. But yeah, we came down here the first time, just sort of turned the corner and was like, oh God, because you never know if these things are going to turn on or not.
And somehow finding kind of old machinery that you're not expecting can sort of make you back off a little bit. So, since we've got Laura and Alex here, and they've never seen this before or been around this corner, I think we should give them a holler. Yeah. Laura!
Alex! Come down, please.
We found another interesting room.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Look at the top, look at the tiles.
That's in better condition than I thought it
This
would be,
is
actually.
fabulous, look at it.
I know, it's really dusty, isn't it?
It's filthy dirty, but it's fabulous. I mean, look at it. We've got what, maroon, like a oh! Oh,
wow.
that is...
What's more staring? That was precisely what we did when we came here.
So this is the fan blade.
It's the impeller, yeah, so this is the bit in the middle of the fan. And you know at downstream, there's that huge fan hub that's in the bottom of the lift shaft, or centre of one of these centrifugal fans. This is why you don't carry them out, can't you?
I read somewhere that this used to shift over 500 cubic metres of air a minute.
It sounds about right.
I mean,
we've just
good
switched the
knowledge.
back on at Clapham South and stood underneath it, didn't we, Sidney? Yeah, I'd say that's how much it was
Oh, it's
shifting.
scary. It's literally like standing in front of a,
Whirlwind, isn't it?
or I don't know, a plane engine or something.
It was kicking up bits of metal off the floor.
I bet. But you just take in what we've just seen, beautiful tile work, which is still pretty much in existence, it's filthy dirty, but it's there. And then you turn around and there's like lumps of mechanism. It is, and we've not even got down one full flight
I
of
didn't even know
stairs.
that's what you'd seen. I thought you were going crazy at the kind of orange and red tile here.
Lovely, isn't it?
We've only made it to sub-basement level and you've already seen so much.
I
know.
I know.
Should we carry on down?
This is Siddy's wow after wow factor, isn't it, that you were
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. We really got you guys there. I mean, how crazy is that fan though? It's so kind of menacing, just sat there in that little basement room, just waiting in its retirement.
It's a bit like a horror movie, wasn't it, Law, when we sort of stepped down there? It was startlingly large, wasn't it? And it wouldn't be the first time I've said that.
Well, I think Chris and Siddy were obviously, their primary function was to shoot footage for the virtual tour, like Chris mentioned before. So you and I were kind of, tagging on the site visit. And so we were scurrying around at the top, cleaning tiles, getting wowed by the colours. So we hadn't even looked at going down the stairs. So we didn't know that they'd already gone ahead of us. But they obviously did that strategically because they knew that when we came around the corner like that, we were going to be wowed. But it was so much fun, and there was so much. Sorry, there was a fly there.
What flies have you got in the room? Has something gone off?
You're shouting at wasps again.
Oh no! One day of
dear,
good weather, and you already got the mozzies on.
I know, right? Do you know what? It is lovely today as well. Spring has sprung, as you can tell by Siddy's lovely top there, like daisies and flowers. So yeah, we were looking at the tiles at the top. Then we saw that fan. And it reminds me of something Siddy said in the episode last week. Memory blank, where did we go? St Mary's Whitechapel, where she said that it's amazing that there are so many things, in situ in these sites that you just don't get to see. So when you have that rare opportunity of being there and you're faced with it, it really is quite incredible. It's quite a hard reaction to describe.
Oh God, it was a complete assault on the senses going around.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, it was December, so it was cold at ground level, but actually quite warm downstairs, as is the case with the warm air moving around the tube system.
Wait,
But
it was
also
warm downstairs.
Warmer down below.
Oh, God.
Again, not the first time we've said that about them.
I
But,
don't know.
but
we were kind of chilly though, just because the site is a ventilation shaft. I think you and Chris were doing all right. Laura and I were a bit cold.
Well, it was bitter up top, but
Yeah, it was bitter up top.
A bit better down below. But it's also dark and it's dirty and there's dripping water. You can hear the dripping of water. And everywhere you go is sort of creaking antiquity, is what you'd say, I suppose. So the booking hall was green. Then we went down this set of stairs, and then we went down the spiral stairs. And once again, our two tour guides, Chris and Siddy, decided to show us even more gems where the lifts land.
So this bit is really a bit of a Christmas present to Alex. There's something which I think he's going to particularly like about your road just through this doorway. So, Mr. Grundon,
Okay, so
he'd like
through
to...
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just going to come round to the left here while you enjoy the tiling.
That's lovely.
Just look what's here on
Wallace
the wall.
Croft. So the maker's tile. I love this. How cool! And just behind us, literally just behind us, is the Piccoli Diccoli line. How fabulous is this? In fact, like most places that you take me to, because you're very, very generous to me, I can't actually take in all of what I'm enjoying here. So this was the lift doorway.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Wow. And the maker's tile. I love the fact that anybody coming out of the lift always got an idea of who did who was responsible for the tiles. I love that. It's most stations, isn't it? Lifts is always a maker's tile by a lift door.
Well, it's interesting in this part of the Piccadilly line, so up from kind of King's Cross and up to, here,
Holloway Road, Carry,
etc.
yeah.
They were all furnished with Wallace Croft.
tile, yeah.
And then from sort of, I guess probably Russell Square, it was all
Simpson.
So
It's so
and they also normally use a lot of the time they use the pomegranate stuff.
Well, it's beautiful in the booking hall. I mean, absolutely stunning. What do you think, Laura?
Do you know
You're a
what-
tile fiend.
Do you know what I was just thinking? The tiles are amazing. I'm not sure the four of us have been on a site visit together for ages.
No.
We haven't.
Not
Too long.
taking away the fact we're at this amazing station, but I'm also a little bit excited that the four of us are down here together as well.
Without doing what we're supposed to do.
It's just been such a crazy year, hasn't
And it
it?
was proper Laura Explorer moment because you guys ran downstairs to set all this up, so I got a surprise. And there was no light on the stairs at all. And I had this thing in my hand, and I was trying to grab hold of. Look at my hand.
Well, I bought two torches, one for me and one for Alex, and I didn't check the batteries, so they don't work.
It was so absolutely pitch dark.
my spare.
So we were giggling our way down the staircase.
Well, you were saying if there's a murderer in the
So it's always the
you'll
last
go
one that gets
first.
popped up, so that's
Yeah.
me, no, but it's you next, Alex.
Horrible
so,
every
you know.
time. But when you get down here, there's just something spectacular, as is always the case. London's underground, the closed off bits are almost the best bits. Because for people like us, seeing this stuff in the dirt with a little wet wipe where you can clean it up a little bit, It's so magical, isn't it? It's like going into a forbidden land.
The thing I really like about your road is because basically its story is enclosed.
Yeah.
And therefore it's being left largely alone. So all those platforms you go, so much original stuff survives here in a way that it just doesn't. So it really feels something that I love. And that's what you come out to.
We're also about to get train.
And that's the cue for the lights off.
That's what I love about these films, because it just goes to show how much we get on as a group of four. Honestly, these series of the Hidden London Hangouts have been a joy, not only to present, but also to get to know these guys, because they're all such experts in their own field. And Laura, we talk about tiles. It's your thing, it's my thing in a way, but you are self-confessed expert on this stuff. The colors down there are incredible, aren't they? And we've got a shot of those tiles to show you as well.
Yeah, they were absolutely stunning and in such good condition as well. I mean, just look at the where you can see the contrast there of that lovely. I mean, are we going with maroon burgundy? Is that fair?
Sort of, it was like a terracotta-y burgundy, weren't they? It was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going burgundy, I think. Yeah.
And we've got our little S there.
I was going to say
that conduit.
Isn't that great? Which, of course, we know from series 1 that you guys learnt with us. Is a station poster site within the station. So anything about the station, opening, shutting times, whether it's going to close for good, would have been glued to the wall wherever that S was. Another
And
little...
also, is that a little stenciled 1
Yeah,
to the
what's
left?
that? Do you know,
well,
Mr. Nix?
I do.
Oh, go on, go on.
Wikipedia.
Well, there's also a stenciled number 2. Now be careful, the number 2.
Kitty!
Oh, hello, Max. Hello, mate. He's come for the birthday episode too. So yeah, there's a 1 and there's a 2, and on the other side of the lift shaft, there's a little plaque as well with number 2 as well.
So you think that's because of bowel movements, or
That'll be it. That'll be it, Sids.
Yeah. I'm
or you think
presuming-
it's just lift numbers, maybe?
I think it's lift numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
We sort of got an idea of it in that film, didn't we? When we were at the bottom of the lift landing. Interestingly, York Road is one of those stations, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, where it was effectively disabled access from day one, because the lifts used to arrive right down to platform level. Unlike most stations I've ever been to, where there's a flight of stairs between the lifts and the platforms, these lifts came straight down to platform level, didn't they, Siddy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite amazing and quite modern, really, that they kind of level access, so you could go straight off the platform. Normally there's like a mezzanine level which the lifts arrived to, and then you have to climb, either up or down or wherever. So yeah, it's really, really amazing, and funnily enough would be great in sort of to modern specifications today if you were to build all stations like that. So very interesting.
And because of that, Chris, the station itself is a bit like a belly, isn't it? The platforms are slightly on a bend, aren't they, around this lower lift landing?
Yeah, that's right. And that's why there aren't many stations that were built like that. There are a few others, but not many. So the neighbouring stations were built like that too. But they, if you think about the way that early underground was built, as we've talked about before, it was built underneath roads largely. And if you've got the lift shafts in the centre and the tracks either side of it, it makes the footprint of the station quite wide. So you need a wide road or to build it under, or you have to buy the land above it to build it. So the normal thing was to have the platforms kind of squished together side by side and then build the passageways out over the top of them to get back to the lift shafts and the spiral stairs.
The stuff you learn on the Hidden London Hangouts. Honestly, Wayleave is your new thing today. Next picture is us frankly being tourists. Look at that. That is Siddy and me photographing trains coming along. That was basically it. Look at that. The platforms, though, pitch black, aren't they? The whole area, the platform area, because of course platform itself is gone, but the whole area, you can still see those lovely tile rings, couldn't you, Laura? But it was pitch black.
Yeah, it was really dark, and obviously we were doing everything by torchlight, and we had to be really careful because obviously trains are coming through. that you can't startle or blind the drivers. So there weren't so many moments, weren't there? And I know, Alex, you have a little bit of a thing about the darkness. So we were trying to look after you and protect you as well. That when your torchlights do go out, it is really, really dark. And there's not much kind of movement or sound around you apart from the train. So it's, again, a really unusual experience, but like you said before, a bit of a sensory overload.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And so just to sort of sum up where we are so far, 1906 was when it opened, 1932 was when it shut. You've got the booking hall, which was in those beautiful green tiles. You go down the emergency stairs. You would have gone down in lifts, 2 Otis lifts, or was it 4 Otis lifts?
Mm-hmm.
4 Otis lifts. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? As Sid said, it was big, but 4 Otis lifts going up and down in 2 shafts. And then, of course, you've got your spiral staircase. So we went down the spiral stairs into this lift landing, effectively, which is like I don't know, who's going to have a look at it in a minute. It's quite cute. 2 platforms and then something else in a minute. But let's have a look at that lift landing where those lifts land on the platform level. And it is gorgeous. Look at it. I mean, stunning. All those ellipses.
Yeah, it reminds me, don't know what, but it gives me sort of Moscow Metro feels. It's got very sort of large, big atrium and just the openings. It's quite, it's an unusual design.
And I
Do you know
remember
what it puts me in mind of is in Beauty and the Beast, there's the character, it's the clock, I can never remember the name. It's the proportions of it, just reminds, I always think about that. And it's, although there were other stations that were built like this, it's the one that survives like that. So it is unique
Cogsworth.
in that way.
It's called Cogsworth.
Well done.
Yes.
She's got it all, hasn't she? She's got it all, that Laura the Explorer. She's amazing.
Love a little bit of Disney.
It's a lovely. And just to look at that photograph, so just to explain where we are. So to the left where Chris is, to the left of that was a lift shaft. To the right in the bricked up bit, that would have been a lift shaft where Siddy and me are. So those big bricked up bits would have been where you enter and exit the lift. And then in that middle bit, there's a gate at the far end that leads onto what would have been the platform. Is that right? And behind the camera, there's the other platform.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And one of the really impressive things about that is the lift shaft that's to the left in this photo is open from floor all the way up to the top. So that enormous torch that I've got in my hand, it was great for just lighting the whole lift shaft up for the virtual tour.
It is,
and it's quite breathtaking to see this giant lift shaft fully open.
That large thing in your hand lighting up the shaft, that is the same thing that you stood at the top of the shaft and lit below when we stood on the grate.
Yeah. It's quite spooky doing that thing where you're on the grate and you can't really see through it until you put that torch on, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Well, I mean, it was like always, you know, that's the thing that you do whenever you take me anywhere in these stations. You always create this kind of cushion of safety, but there's slight jeopardy as well. It's absolutely wonderful. So, I mean, you know, look at it. It's great. But then in addition to that, because Siddy and Chris had enough technical kit, like their phones with them, they went to a part of the station that not even Laura and I were allowed to go to give you an expert view of what effectively was York Road's signal box.
As you might be able to tell from the tiling behind me, I'm at York Road. I'm in one of my favourite bits, which is the now abandoned little signal cabin that survives at one end of the platform. And although it's seen better days and is inhabited by the ghost of Siddy Holloway, it is quite a lovely place. Broken window so you can watch the trains go by. And of course, in our collection at Acton, we have a York Road signal frame there. So it's a lovely place. The first time Siddy and I saw this was when we came here to do the photography a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Well, actually, at that time we didn't have a handrail, so we couldn't actually come close to it to actually have a look inside.
We saw it from afar, didn't we? And thought, well, that's definitely one to come back to.
Oh, wow. And I'm really grateful they put in that little rail so we can actually come and have a look. And look at these little diamond shapes.
I know.
I actually hadn't seen them because,
lovely.
of course, most of the platform's been painted over, so this is stuff we've never seen before.
It's kind of a deep red and a salmon pink with a cream, isn't it?
It's reminiscent of Down Street, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's a slightly subtler red, but yeah, lovely place, and really glad we got to come.
Beautiful. And once again, because of the unique way the Hangouts are filmed, Chris and Sidney were able to go somewhere extra special, and Laura and I just looked on their phones when they came back. But Chris, beautiful little extra nugget from that station.
It really was superb. It's one of those occasions when a Trek license is really handy. Yeah, it's a little space that I'd always wanted to go into ever since we saw it when Sidney and I were first there to shoot footage for the Hidden London book, and we photographed it from afar. So yes, it was good to be able to share that one.
It was fabulous. And Laura, I mean, what a place to go and see.
Yeah, it was an absolute belter, wasn't it? And it was so lovely because it was around Christmas time as well. And everyone had just had such a hard time, you know, throughout the year. It was just really nice to meet up, go subterranean and do what we do best and just hang out in tunnels.
And Sidney, the great thing about that little trip was you all gave me an opportunity to use a wet wipe, didn't you? To indulge my fascination for cleaning. I'm like the Kim and Aggie of the Hidden London Hangouts, aren't I?
Yeah, you do love a good wet wipe, don't you?
Don't know where she's going with that. Throw the tape!
We're all a little bit puffing and panting because we've just ascended from platform level.
You ready? Should we just do a
Alex
reveal?
is still on a cleaning tile mission. Alex, I want to get that wet wipe and give you a good old clean as well.
Would you like it afterwards?
Did you do kitchens as well?
I can do kitchens and bathrooms. I'll even do shoes.
Oh.
What do you reckon we can do this? And I just love the reveal. So we've got that lovely burgundy.
Kind of shades of both, isn't it?
And then you've got this orange.
It's a bit breezy as well now.
It's the draft. And then you have this amazing cream white. Look at that. So you've got the red and the sort of orange, would you agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you've got the cream. Just, there's something incredibly satisfying about
I was going to say there's concentration and excitement and elation in equal measures on your little
just
face.
amazing, you know. And this is just revealing all that muck that's literally sat there since 1932, gathering all the time, and then you get to the point where you can clean it all up. So there we go.
I think it's found its true metal.
I reckon so too, though.
What is my oeuvre? Look at that.
No, it was fun, and especially like, you know, we particularly Chris and I have to do so many of these. Well, we have done so many of these visits, so it's so fun to take you guys there to see kind of get to experience it again through your eyes, because you guys get so excited, and it's such a joy to kind of be able to show you these parts that Chris and I have maybe seen before.
It's so nice. It was the best day, Chris. It was the best day.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, right, I've been doing this job now for 21 years, and my bag that goes with me everywhere when I'm doing these, on one side it's got this enormously bright light for exploring. On the other side is the practicality kit, which you will see includes not one but several packets of wet wipes and gloves. And I think we got through them all that day. I had to really repack for the next visit because it was so grimy.
And by the end of the day, it was quite funny because Laura and I left. If you remember, Laura and I left York Road a little bit before you guys did, and we went to Pret and had a ginger biscuit and a cup of tea because we needed it. It was filthy, absolutely filthy dirty. My face was dirty, everything was dirty. And where my rubber glove had split, I had one black finger. One dirty finger, the rest of me was completely fine, but one dirty finger, which was joyful. So yeah, what a great day visiting an amazing station. And if you want to see more, there will be a Hidden London virtual tour of York Road coming very, very soon indeed. It will have even more amazing stuff, but I hope you'd agree that we did get loads of fabulous stuff into this episode already. There is one other treat at the very end of this episode, as a little extra token of our day at York Road. Notes, queries and questions today. Our birthday number one, we've got another birthday episode next week, which we're really happy about. We've got the big cheese from the museum coming on as well. Sam's going to be with us, which would be rather lovely. But some amazing notes that have come in from you guys. Dave Kerwin says, hello, Alex. I just wanted to drop you a line to thank you and the gang for the Hidden London Hangouts. Many people have already said it before, but since lockdown started, Hidden London Hangouts has been a lifeline in many ways, mentally, socially, and of course, scratching that itch of transport in London and the tubes very much in particular. I love the interaction you all have The banter and the honesty is a joy to behold. You bring all something to the table, and it's a result of your joint effort that enriches us in these uncertain times. Thank you so much. And I sincerely hope that once we can, it'd be lovely to meet up with fellow Hidden London Hangouts fans, Patreons, and of course the Hidden London Hangout Fab Four. I think we can arrange that, can't we, Mr. Nix?
A meet-up? Oh, I think we could.
Good. Mark Smith says it was a mint edition of the Hidden London Hangouts in St Mary's. So gutted it went just so quickly. Just as you were getting into it, it finished. We had an hour, you know. How long do you want? Felt like there was loads to talk about, and there really was. And as I said, there's loads more to come in future episodes of the Hidden London Hangouts. Managed to get my mum and dad to watch it, as she's from Bethnal Green and dad's from Bow. So those places you mentioned, they knew so well, especially the Blind Beggar pub. That's a pub with history. I tell you, if you come to London, you must go and have a pint in the Blind Beggar. I had to go to the flower market at Columbia Road when I was little. He did say something else about the flower market, but I'm not going to read that out. I love Columbia Road. Have you ever been, Laura, to the flower market at Columbia Road?
I absolutely have, and I love it too. A long time ago, though. A long time ago, but when we're allowed back out and about, let's do it, guys. Let's go.
Got to do
Yeah,
it. Buy
I've
flowers.
never been there.
Oh, sick. It's amazing.
we
I'll
get
take you.
somewhere.
I'll
Yay.
take you. Sunday mornings, bacon sandwich, a coffee in the Columbia Road Flower Market. Best thing about London. Got to do it. Jonathan Morley says, great hangout tonight. Can't believe it's a year. I'd love to thank you all for getting us through it. And I love anything London Transport. Can't wait to get back up to the capital. Keep brilliant work up, guys. Our absolute pleasure. We are loving it. Ruth Massey Rose says, right, this is an interesting one, Chris. At the start of each episode, there's a clock thing on the right. What is it? It's driving me crazy, says Ruth.
Well, it's not a clock thing. It's a signal block indicator, and it's from an absolute block signalling system. And the bell code that goes with it is part of how signallers in signal boxes communicated with each other in days gone by in order to keep the train safe with the signalling system. And I will be giving an explanation of it on a TV show in the near future.
Oh, good. Because of course our babes are going to be on Telebox, aren't they? It's summertime, isn't it, you guys? It's all been brought forward because it's been so good. We've got more of it soon, haven't we?
We don't know just yet, but we hope it's going to be sometime around sort of middle of the summer or perchance sort of August time. But we will, of course, make that announcement when we know.
Amazing stuff. And just in case you're wondering, London Transport Museum's got plenty more ideas for Hidden London Hangouts, so we don't have any intention of stopping. The thing that will keep it going is your views and your likes and your appreciation of it. So please, even when lockdown eases, and we are starting to see the green shoots of economic and social spring, keep watching the Hangouts. Doesn't matter if you can't join us live, although we love it when you join us on Saturdays at 6 o'clock. Anytime, go back, binge watch, do what you want to do, like, comment and everything else, ask us questions and we'll get them answered. David Smith Land Rover, another great evening of entertainment today. Thanks for entertaining us all. You do a tremendous job getting nearer to 100 Patreons as well. So fingers crossed. Also, your mid-suck comment in the Hangouts live made me laugh out loud. I've got no idea what you mean. I was worried about having my jab today, and watching that again really cheered me up. We're doing all right on Patreon, aren't we, Chris?
We are indeed. We've got a very active group of people joining us now, not only for extra content, also supporting the museum with their donations, and also joining us for extra chat in Discord and helping us to work out where we go next.
Nice one. We've got a few extra quick coming from you guys as well. Thank you very much. The museum's very grateful. Julian says, are you looking for ideas for a Hidden London Hangout Series 4? Yeah, of course we are. If so, have you ever thought of doing an episode on how London Transport supported inclusivity from the station colours for people who could not read the names to the adaptations made today? I think we can probably do something on that. It's one of my pet subjects, isn't it? Tiles and colours, and nobody could read, and it's so cool. It's one of the many things about the tube system that we all love. Thank you very much, as always, birthday girl Laura. Happy birthday, first birthday for the Hangouts.
I was just about to say, it's not my birthday.
Yeah, kind of.
Sorry. I thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I genuinely can't believe it's been a year as well. Honestly, it's flown by, hasn't it? It's crazy. And York Road was really special. It's kind of bittersweet in a way, isn't it? Because, they closed down because the ridership and the passengers, you know, there weren't enough, you know, back in the day. And now we're kind of overrun with people and need more space. And it's kind of this kind of crazy situation that TfL finds itself in. But lovely that we got to go down there, and really glad I got to go down with you guys.
Oh, totally. City Holloway, happy birthday to you for the Hangouts, and thank you so much for the past year.
Thank you. Oh God, we're a whole year old. It's nice to remember your own 1 year birthday for once. But what a treat. I absolutely loved going to York Road. It is one of my favorite stations for sure, just because it's so interesting and so few people know about it. So it was such a joy doing that. And I can't wait for next week when I'm going to give you all your birthday presents.
Oh, yeah, of course. You've got that to come up with. Chris Nix, happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to the Hidden London Hangouts.
And to you, Alex, for an idea that was kind of dreamt up in a Zoom meeting. It's certainly run, hasn't it? And I think I also, this is my cue to apologise to you all on our visit to York Road, when you asked me, is it going to be warm downstairs? Do we need our coats? And I said, yeah, it'll probably be quite warm down there in December in a vent shaft. So I'm very sorry that you were very cold while you were down there because of me.
It was worth every second. And for me personally, you know, a lot of the notes, queries and questions come to me. And I can honestly say, not only has the Hidden London Hangout saved my sanity, these three are now wonderful close friends to me and probably know more about me than they ever should, but they do. But also, I feel that we've got to know you as viewers, not just as people who like our stuff, but we've also seen into your minds and we've seen into your hearts as well over the past 12 months. And we're delighted with what we see. And we're really glad that you're on our little gang as well every Saturday night, because it makes it all worthwhile. So thank you very much. We've got another birthday episode with a few special surprises next week. In the meantime, it's Chris Nix, it's City Holloway, it's Hidden London Law, it's Alex Grundon, it's at LT Museum on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, find us. There's loads more fab stuff on there from us four. It's amazing. And of course, the LT Museum feed is fantastic too. On YouTube, like, subscribe and comment. Ask us your comments and questions about the episodes as well. Tell us what you think. And if you've got a comment that you'd like to make for our birthday episode next week, drop us a line and we'll read it out as well. We leave you today with one of the final surprises of our York Road trip. When you're down in the tube, it's very, very dark and you have to shout train when people are around the platform area to make sure they're all aware of what's going to happen next. And this was a shot that I took and I hope you love every second of it. Birthday episode next week. Something pretty fabulous you're about to see. Have yourself a great day. Happy birthday to us and stay safe. Train.